Late last night, as Air Force One lifted off from Washington, D.C., Donald Trump appeared anything but confident. According to his own public statements, he was rattled, responding to a wave of new revelations and political losses and mounting scrutiny that continues to surround his inner circle. In this video, we're going to break down what happened, what was said, and why it matters. We'll talk about the latest Epstein document releases and the serious concerns raised by victims' advocates, unexpected election results in Texas, and Donald Trump's own words while speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One. This is not about speculation. This is about documented statements, public records, and the political consequences unfolding in real time. The Epstein document releases. Over the past several days, millions of pages connected to Jeffrey Epstein-related litigation and investigations have resurfaced in public view. According to journalists and legal observers, roughly 3 to 5 million documents have been released so far, but many believe far more remain sealed or withheld. What has drawn widespread outrage is not only the content of these materials, but also how they were handled. Victims' advocates say the redactions were deeply flawed, allegedly exposing names and identifying details of survivors, causing renewed trauma to people who have already endured unimaginable harm. That alone should alarm everyone, regardless of political affiliation. Now, within the documents are allegations, sworn declarations, and testimony referencing powerful individuals. These are claims, some unproven, some contested, but they are serious, disturbing, and deserving of careful scrutiny. Donald Trump's name appears thousands of times across these records. That does not itself prove wrongdoing, but it raises legitimate questions, especially when paired with sworn statements made under penalty of perjury by individuals who claim first-hand knowledge of abuse. Believing survivors does not mean abandoning due process. It means refusing to dismiss voices simply because they are inconvenient or politically uncomfortable. Trump on Air Force One. I'm absolved. While flying to Palm Beach, specifically Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump addressed reporters aboard Air Force One. He claimed that unnamed very important people told him the documents absolve him. He went further, suggesting that journalist Michael Wolff conspired with Jeffrey Epstein to damage him politically, and that he intends to sue. This claim is extraordinary. Trump did not cite evidence. He did not point to specific findings. Instead, he framed the revelations as a political plot, what he called an effort by the radical left. Legal experts have noted that a lawsuit would open the door to discovery, a process Trump has historically tried to avoid. In fact, many observers believe a defamation lawsuit could expose even more information under oath. Trump also suggested he may sue media organizations for reporting on the documents, despite the fact that much of the reporting quotes sworn declarations directly. What the documents actually contain. Let's be clear and responsible here. The documents include allegations, not verdicts, but they are sworn statements made under penalty of perjury by individuals who say they witnessed abuse of minors involving Epstein and his associates. One declaration describes threats, intimidation, and fear of retaliation. Other documents reference conversations about silencing people permanently, language that, if accurate, is deeply chilling. Again, allegations must be investigated, not ignored. What has troubled many observers is that some materials were reportedly removed and then re-uploaded by the Department of Justice, raising questions about transparency and consistency in handling these files. When institutions appear hesitant or disorganized in releasing information, public trust erodes. Texas shocker, a major political upset. While all of this was unfolding, something else happened that caught nearly everyone off guard. A special election in Texas State Senate, District 9, a district Donald Trump won comfortably, flipped to a Democratic candidate. This district had not elected a Democrat since 1991. The Republican candidate was endorsed by Trump and outspent the Democratic candidate by over $2 million and still lost. On the same weekend, Democrats also won a special congressional election in Texas, further narrowing the Republican majority in the House. These results suggest something important. Trump's endorsements are no longer guarantees. Voters, even in deep red areas, are signaling fatigue, concern, or outright rejection. Trade deals, foreign interests, and national security. Trump also addressed foreign trade issues aboard Air Force One, including Canada and China. His remarks were erratic, including bizarre claims involving hockey and geopolitical domination. More concerning, critics continue to raise alarms about Trump's relationships with foreign governments and wealthy elites, particularly in the Middle East. There are ongoing questions about whether sensitive U.S. technology, including advanced semiconductor capabilities, was leveraged for personal or political gain. These claims demand investigation, because national security is not a bargaining chip for private profit. No individual, former or current president, should be above scrutiny when it comes to safeguarding American interests. Suing himself, the IRS and DOJ comments. In one of the most surreal moments, Trump discussed lawsuits he has filed against the federal government, including the IRS, and joked about settling cases with himself. Let's be clear. If a former or current president uses taxpayer-funded institutions to pay out settlements to himself, that represents a profound ethical failure. Floating the idea of donating proceeds to charity does not resolve the conflict of interest. The issue is the misuse of power, not what happens afterward. This is not normal. It should never be normalized. Authoritarian rhetoric and threats. Trump was also asked about a social media post threatening consequences for protesters. His response suggested that people who confront law enforcement or government agents should expect retaliation equal or greater. This rhetoric matters. Words from powerful figures shape behavior. When leaders imply violence or punishment against dissent, democratic norms weaken, and history shows us where that path can lead. Conclusion: what we're witnessing is not one isolated scandal, one bad quote, or one political loss. It's a pattern of evasion, intimidation, grievance, and self-dealing, colliding with growing public awareness and political pushback. Whether you support Donald Trump or not, these issues demand attention. Democracy depends on accountability. Justice depends on transparency. And survivors deserve to be heard, not erased. We'll continue to follow the facts, the documents, and the consequences every step of the way. If you want more coverage like this, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay vigilant.